Baby. You did it. I did it. We all did it. It's all our faults. Can I see where you're at so I know where to my frame? Please.
Me?
Oh, Mr. Producer Mark. Oh, okay.
As if I would have steered you wrong.
No, you're fine.
Don't say it.
Smarter Mark. He's here. He's smarter. He's Mark. Pew, pew, pew. He just showed me his fucking sick scar.
Hey.
What?
You asked.
What?
He just showed me his sick scar. He's got a scar on his arm.
That sounds intimate. I don't mean sexual. I mean like super intimate.
Yes, we cuddled. We didn't show each other. I just saw his because he had a piece of. It looked like masking tape or duct tape, but not duct tape. It was a packing tape. Thank you, Noodle. Noodle doesn't want me in here. The clear tape. And I was like, why do you have tape on your arm? And then I found out it's because he has a silicone patch on his scar to make it less gnarly. So fucking gnarly, dude.
It's fucking gnarly, dude.
Hey, guys.
What the hell's... What's a silicone? Like it fixes it or it just...
It helps it heal better. It helps it not be such a scar. Makes it smaller.
Yeah, all you can see is like...
Yeah, it is. It is very Pharrelly.
We're not ready yet, guys. Chill
okay.
Out.
I'm pretty sure you could see yourself though, Drew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we ready though?
He'll fix it in pre. Producer Mark, Smarter Mark said we are ready.
We're ready?
Mm-hmm. You want to start on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Gravy, baby. What's up, my little gravy biscuits, my little gravy boats, my little country bumpkins, as it were? We're living in a new America. Praise God, we are finally free. The white man has been held down for far too long. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
No, not from a woman. TJ?
uh,
Exactly. We can now say what we want and feel and do, and we're finally free in this country. Make America great again.
hated it.
Hated it. You said it like the problematic black dudes from In Living Color.
Yeah.
Hated it. I give that around the world and back snap.
Yeah.
Well, thank God in Trump's America, we don't have to hear any of that anymore.
I know,
Remember that
right?
episode where,
Which episode?
the episode where the light hits him in the head and he's straight.
I forgot about that episode until you just triggered it.
Yeah.
Wait, were we all in Living Color heads? Were we all color heads?
Oh yeah, I used to sneak up at night to watch it. I would need a quote unquote need a drink of water, and then I could see the TV from the kitchen, so I would just stand in the kitchen holding a glass of water, watching it. Well, because my mom watched it, she liked it too.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, huge at our house. Huge.
Yeah, how could it not be? How could it not be?
My mom and dad loved Jim Carrey, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother liked all the black guys and gals.
Yeah.
But yeah, not all of them, but like
I wanted to be David Allen Greer. I almost said David Allen Coe. Not correct.
David Allen Greer was great. He did that show on Comedy Central that was there for a breath, Chocolate News. Oh my God, I loved it. But yeah, David Allen Greer, when he had the dead dog, oh my God, just torturing everyone. Get him, Duke!
The name of the sketch you were referring to was Men on Film.
Men on Film, yeah.
but then they started to expand it. My favorite one was for the Super Bowl one year. They were the lead-in or that post or something, and they did men on sports.
Mm-hmm.
And they started talking about how much they like football. And I mean, it
A
was
bunch of
like
men running up and down the field in skin-ass tights.
Every joke was juvenile, and every one of them fire and funnier than the last. And they broke.
Mm-hmm.
I think they broke when Damon hit. Well, you know who my favorite football player is? Dick Butkus. I love Dick Butkus. Dick Butkus is the all these sweaty men's out there. God damn,
and it was so great funny. Because he had the football on the side. He had a football suction cup to the side of his bald head.
It was a tiny hat, like a tiny church lady hat.
Tiny church lady hat with a football on it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
That's a great one.
Tight end joke, a wide receiver joke.
Of course.
My favorite player was Mike Ditka. God, it was... I mean, you were correct. Problematic.
Sure.
See, that was back when the country was free, and we have returned to that time. What I'm working on here is trying to be happy in Scott County, Tennessee, post-Trump. I've been telling Andy to shut up all day, and not to her face, just in this room I'm in alone, just practicing in the mirror. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. And,
oh yeah, trying to be that guy.
I've been back in the blue. Like I've just been finding blue things and standing behind them. Just really getting ready to settle in here because I need to be happy, you know?
Yes.
And I live where I live, and we're standing with Israel, and we're back in the blue, but we hate Jews, so that's just where we're at.
Oh my God!
So complex.
Where Rabbi Shmuley and them showed up to the Trump rally, and they got down runoff. I did not see that, and I don't cheer for anti-Semitism, but I do like Schadenfreude. Did I say it correctly?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
It wasn't anti-Semitism.
Oh, why'd they get ran off?
There were a bunch of pro-Palestinian people in there, and they were like, "We don't. We support Trump because everybody's mind's eggs." You know what I'm saying? So this scrambled everybody. But this is don't bring an Israeli flag here. We're fucking anti-war, pro-Palestinian. You know what I'm saying? Da 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 da. This is about America. That's kind of how it went. It wasn't like we don't rock them Jews. It'll eventually be that. It'll eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. It'll totally get there.
It was like that silently. I get what you're saying. There was that was a thing though. There was one issue voters that I think Trump got those voters that were like, we just don't want to be a part. We're not going to vote for people who are funding genocide. And because
I don't believe there's a single person who voted for Trump based on that. I think there's plenty of people
there absolutely
who did not
is.
vote for her. Why? He's done that makes no sense, Carmen. He's said so many times and had phone calls with Netanyahu that Gaza is going to be beachfront property.
Yeah,
he
but
can do whatever he wants.
He also said that he was going to get us out faster, and the Dems have been hemming and hawing about it, and I think there's part of that.
Of people who refused to vote for her,
and
they voted for Jill Stein, or they didn't vote at all. I genuinely don't think there's a single person who, for that one reason, did that. There might be somebody who claims that or had other reasons. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not. I get it. It's okay if you don't want to believe it, but it definitely statistically had happened.
True.
Just because if there were one note.
Wait, where the fuck are y'all getting that from?
If there's people who voted for one as far as women's rights, there's people definitely who voted because how passionately they were about Israel and Palestine.
100%. But Trump has not said anything other than I'm going to level Gaza and Netanyahu.
That's not what he said. No, he said all kind of different shit.
Yeah, of course. We're also talking about Trump.
Dearborn. He literally went to Dearborn and met with Drew, why are you like...
It's already happened.
It's really already happened.
Y'all are doing what you're accusing me of. You have
no.
You guys are like, no, it happened.
Drew,
I mean, why would people lie about it after they voted?
He's in the lib bubble.
Oh no. Okay. This is not CNN. We're not arguing with each other about this. This is ridiculous.
Thing. It's actually a leftist thing. You're claiming there are people who are so pro-Palestine and on the left that they voted for Trump. That is a ridiculous assertion. Neither of you have any evidence of it. You're just talking about what Trump said.
I saw people on a CNN fucking dude. I saw him talking to fucking Arabs, dude. Right after fucking, listen, please, true. I don't even want to talk about this anymore. It happened. You're like, we saw it happen. We saw when he went down to Dearborn and met with the Arab leaders and met with the fucking and the imams down there. Right after fucking Bill Clinton told everybody that fucking they were gonna go, they had to kill it. He went right down there. They were voting for him. There were big signs, fucking Palestinians, Arabs for Trump, end the wars, all that shit. I'm not saying it's true. But
there's no Arabs for Trump. There's always been
saying that you just like made this up to tell you this.
No, I'm not saying you made anything up.
I don't want to argue about this anymore.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't trying to start this.
I'm saying that you have no evidence of this. Arabs for Trump. Will you let me fucking talk? Will you let me fucking talk? You already told me I was lived up. Will you let me talk? You've been being a dick and trolling me, and now you're interrupting me. Will you let me talk?
Okay.
Will you?
Yes.
Arabs for Trump has been around for 12 goddamn years, or 8 at least. They're very conservative people. No part of me is suggesting that no Arabs voted for Trump. No part of me is suggesting that no Palestinians voted for Trump. I'm saying the notion that there is the person who voted for Donald Trump because of Palestine and Gaza, I don't believe it. I could be wrong. Secondly, I'm saying you have no evidence that that person exists. You haven't seen anyone say that they're that person. You have seen Arabs say that they are going to vote for Trump. I give you that. But they already were around. I just don't buy it.
I never got to state where I got that notion from, but I have... It's just been people saying it online. That's all. So that's what I've been going by, is what people are saying online. Like, even in this silly, you weren't here the day we got to talk about it, but I had posted a silly video of like what it's like to live in the US right now. And it's the classic clip from Jurassic Park where it's Jeff Goldblum walking up to the big pile of Triceratops poop, and it says, wow, that's one big pile of shit. And it went viral, and it's gotten millions and millions of comments, and I've had to delete a lot of them because it's a lot of unhinged people from both sides. And some of them in the comments are like, I've been Democrat my whole life. I'm not voting for somebody who wants to fund a genocide. Like, that was, and it turned into a big argument between that, because that's ridiculous. It's not even happening in the US. Why would you even? It's like, because maybe you can vote for somebody who's pro blah 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 blah, whatever. I'm just saying, like it's definitely possible. There are people who are like, this is my one thing, this is the thing that matters to me, and they're voting that way. I mean, that has been the case for, ever since voting is like, people aren't taking all of the things in consideration. I'm not saying it's all of it, but it definitely bummed me out when I saw states that were, have got blue reps that ended up going red, i.e. North Carolina, i.e. Fuck.
What do you mean?
Like they put in blue representation, like in the Senate, they got blue. They voted Democrat, but then they voted. I'm sorry.
This is Mark Robinson. That's Mark Robinson, and I can't say this enough. People do not know what fascism is.
Yeah, they don't know what fascism is. They don't know what communism is. They don't know what democratic socialism is. They don't know what any of these terms mean.
They don't know what any of that is. So take that out of the way. Trump is not considered a threat to a lot of people in the same way that you know what I mean, that perhaps on the leftist side or a liberal side, it would be that threat, right? Their main worries are groceries and gas prices, and like they figure states' rights will figure it out, and they don't look at they don't know anything about Peter Thiel. J.D. Vance wrote Hillbilly Elegy. People aren't plugged in like that, so that's one thing. Coming out and having like, I'm a black Nazi, like that's like, normies don't fuck with that. So like, if you have people who are voting for Trump just because this is what they do, they don't really have any idea, but they just want eggs. They don't even know if the wars are all this stuff is so away from them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like they don't see Trump like how we see Trump. They don't. But they see a person like Mark Robinson, definitely, with all of this stuff, they definitely see him how it is. So it makes sense that they wouldn't vote for him.
Right.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
It was interesting to see that a lot of people like locally went blue, and it's very, I don't know, maybe this is like going to be a thing where more blue states would want to secede, much like like Texas did years ago and the South did years before that, where it's just like, it seems like, I don't know, man. I looked at that map and it was like, okay, caring about other people is now, it's fewer states care about other people. I don't know, man. It's just like, it was just a complete bummer. And I definitely wasn't trying to rile you up. I was just saying, like, it bummed me out when I saw that, because then I was like, man, I wonder how many people did that. I mean, it's probably not a lot. It was probably, a handful of people. Again, it's when people are misinformed, it's like, it's hard to be able to tell.
I don't feel like you guys are hearing what I'm saying, though. Like the Gaza stuff absolutely hurt Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I don't believe that a single issue voter, which is how you phrased it, and that single issue is Gaza, flip sides. I think plenty of single issue voters didn't vote for Kamala Harris. I think plenty of Arabs who lean conservative and like other things Trump says, that was their tipping point. And you didn't get me riled up. Fucking Troll McGee over here saying, I don't want to argue, but let me list the 7 points I'm going to make and then troll you real quick. Got me riled up.
Gotcha.
All I'm saying is, I don't believe that there is a Arab person, you also said Arab, who was like, or maybe you didn't. I don't think there's a single issue voter, and that single issue was Gaza, who flipped. I think there's plenty of single issue voters who didn't vote for Kamala Harris and voted for Jill Stein or wrote somebody in. And then I think there's plenty of people who, like DJ said, they don't really know that much about Trump. They kind of like the idea of groceries being lower. And then you throw the genocide stuff on top of that. Sure. It hurt her. I've been telling everybody it hurt her. I've been saying it was hurting her for a year.
Yeah.
But no one cared. And no one cared because I'm starting to think that at the top, well, we can get into it, we can not, but I'm starting to think that at the top, genuinely speaking, not even like, how do I want to say this? I don't want to sound like someone I'm not trying to be, or say something I'm not trying to say, but like, I do think they're in cahoots. I think on certain issues, there is no difference.
Sure.
And I don't mean like they happen to agree. I mean like, I don't know, I'm turning into an Illuminati type guy. It's very clear that a lot of people with money knew Trump was going to win like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy to read all the stuff leading up to it where they were just like, well, we're prepared for a Trump win. Like the Democratic Party. I mean, dude, listen, you can say what you want to. That was an awful run. That was terrible. I mean, you had 100 days out. You gaslit everybody about it. It's just, it's crazy. But you would think that the issues that like matter most to you, bodily autonomy, trans rights, gay rights, and stuff like that.
Well, his whole campaign was Kamala's for they, them, not for you. Like that was their whole.
He put out a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, it was like.
What? Here's the crazy thing. Is like, do you think that like Caitlyn Jenner? Do you think anything's gonna happen? Do you think she's scared right now of anything happening to her?
No,
because it's a class war. It's a class war issue, and that's really what we're involved in. Like the oligarchs were going to win. Like they were going like that. That's what's happening. The oligarchs won, and they won with which, by the way, and I'm not gonna say anything bad about it. they knew what they were going for. They knew who they were shooting at. They knew what their base was. They knew what the lines was. They stayed on. The dude was just who he was. He doesn't got the same riz that he does. But
he lost a lot of votes and still won.
Yeah, I'm talking about slam dunk. Fucking nuts to the face.
But I get what you're saying. It does feel like when the playoffs, like, this team is beating the shit out of everyone this entire, and now when you're in the playoffs, it's just, and they always go to game 7. I get what you're saying. Like, just when you look at it for overall, it's like, this does seem suspicious. But I also feel like it's been suspicious.
Right. Well, I guess try to be clear. When people are like, they're exactly the same, I'm like,
no.
Not if you want to be gay married. Not if you're a trans person living in certain state. Like,
not if you're a woman and would like to keep your autonomy. Yeah.
So, like, I never want to go down that route. But it's become just as clear to me, just as clear as it is to me that they're different on that. That on some other stuff, someone else is making them be the same. It's like there's some other issues where they just won't change regardless of, like, they'd rather lose than change. That's what I'm trying to say. There are some class issues, and I think the war in Gaza, we can call it a fucking war, is another one. There's some issues where it's very clear that they'd rather lose than be different, and you got to go, why? And that's where I turn in.
They make more money, and they get the propaganda and keep on doing it. It's a money laundering scheme. You get to go speak. Lloyd Austin goes back to the fucking Raytheon after all the missiles that he done sold and shit. Now he gets a term shit on the board, and fucking they all get speaking arrangements, and they all get fucking they don't care. They don't care.
Right. It's really hard not to not just agree with that, but like sort of become cynical because of it.
Of course. And I think that's really where our battle lies now, is battle the cynicism, because it's difficult, especially when I feel like if that's the case, we've been gaslit for over the last month about how if we could just get more dough, if we could just get more cash, we could be, and then that's been the angle that they've been pushing. Just give us more money so we can get more constituents to beat Trump. So it's like, so then what happens with all that money you just got? And now it's going to nowhere. Right. So
it's going somewhere.
Well, yeah, to them, but yeah.
I feel like people might be listening and think that we're saying like they didn't want to win. I think Kamala Harris of the Democratic Party wanted to win, but not at all. Like, there's clearly things they just weren't allowed, places they're not letting themselves go. You know, the main example I can list, and it's going to make me sound like, I guess, some kind of leftist conspiracy theorist, and I'm not. It's just, this is a point blank fact. They'd rather have Liz Cheney speak at their convention than Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Yes.
Why?
Because Bernie Sanders wants genuine change. I mean, that's part of the reason.
It's hard not to believe that. Like, you can try to convince yourself, well, they're afraid of Bernie. Like, they might lose, or they'll lose some of these. It's like, I cannot believe that at this point. I can't believe, maybe the first time this happened, you were afraid of socialism and the dirty word and all that, but like, I cannot believe that you thought that was the best way to win. I think it was the only way you were willing to win.
Yeah, was to lose your base and try to reach to the middle to get the suburban white woman who fucking voted, like, what was it, like 69% fucking Trump? Dude.
I thought it was 72.
Like, yeah, Jesus Christ, something like that. But dude, it's crazy. Just said, okay, thanks a lot. Fuck you, we're gone. We don't like her. We don't like the Cheneys. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? And I think the economic, but I think the thing about also with Trump that lands with normal working people. Normal working people is like, eggs are going to come down. We're going to bring and then that's that. Then you mumble at people. That's just what they want to hear. Groceries are going to get cheaper. Look, they don't want like some, like, we're eating a stimulus package of $500 for each fucking, like, they don't want to hear that shit, dude. there's a lot of fucking. I think what we forget is that, like, I think that there's a lot of people who voted for Trump, not only because, and I would say this too, I bet he got a lot of fucking spite votes. I would say that there's probably some people who voted for him that were just like, fuck this party. Nah, they probably didn't even come out.
Yeah, I think there might have been some of those, but I think the 15 million gap between what she got and Biden got is explained, in my opinion, three ways. Number one, that one. And I think that's the biggest percentage of the 15 million. Two, I do think misogyny plays a role in this. I think
it's a huge role. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
But then you go, why didn't women make up for it? Why didn't more women come out to vote? Why didn't more women flip? So I think then you go back to the spite. And then I also think trans people freak a lot of Americans out. And Trump did a really good job of stowing that fear. I don't want to say so I'm in the comedy world, obviously. I see it in the comedy, and I see it with crowds. It's still, even people who are like, at least in their own minds, they think they're like good people who are trying to give everyone a chance.
Mm-hmm.
There's still plenty of people who could eventually come around who are like, yeah, that's weird. And Trump just fucking leaned right into that and told them, yeah, it is weird, and they're going to do it to your kids. And a lot of dumb people ate that up. Dude, some smart people did. My own father tried to tell me they were cutting off little kids' wieners, and I was like, they're not. I was like, Dad, please try to find an example of them cutting off a little kid's wiener. I said, you will maybe find an example of hormone blockers. Those are reversible. As soon as you stop, and that's not our business. That's between that set of parents and their kid,
Mm-hmm.
My point is, like, I think it really did, and I don't think to where it like made them fomenting at the mouth MAGA people, just in terms of where'd that 15 million go that she got less than Biden. I think that's one of the reasons, dude. I think that's 4 million people.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I think that people are really, really, really transphobic. And I mean that word as literally as possible, where they're like afraid of it, where they're not necessarily hateful, but they're like, why is everyone trans all of a sudden?
Right. Meanwhile, they don't even know a trans person. Well, the other part of it that was like super disheartening was the the trans exclusionary gay people and lesbians and all this other shit was just like people who understand oppression being against other people not being oppressed is just something that I don't think I could ever get around. I mean, it goes back to what you were saying, DJ. It's the black Nazi. It's just like, what? Like, it literally just doesn't make sense. I just can't wrap my head around it.
That's a perfect example of what I'm trying to express. Like, that's how behind we are as a society on that issue. Mm-hmm. There are gay people who I don't think are awful people who are like, nah, it freaks me out. And they don't want to say it, but they're going to vote a certain way.
Right.
And that's really, 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 frankly, heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. You see the exit polls. It's very weird because like the top reason people were like, I voted. Why did you vote? Democracy. Second was economic. I think later, like way down there was like foreign stuff. But it's weird when you say democracy. Why did you vote democracy? And what that means to people. You know what I mean? Because
honestly, I don't think people know what it means. That means either. I think it's just another word.
But it's interesting. What do they think they mean?
Yeah.
Because if it was the number one answer, that means both sides are saying it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think cultural Marxism, I think they've done a really good job with like Marxism and socialism, making Democrats just be whatever that is. Like the Kamala Harris, she's a cultural Marxist. Okay, sir, please define that, please. Mm-hmm. And then please fit her into that, fit this peg in that round hole, or whatever. But I do think that's what happened. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think with the trans issue, I think you're so right. I think people are so scared of it. I think that's why Kamala also started running from it at the end there, saying that she was going to leave it up to the states and stuff like that. I think it's because it is an issue that they can, that
Well,
is.
it's been pounded. It's a fucking
Yeah.
it's again. I mean, we've talked about this before, and I don't mean it, but it's the amount of population. It's an obscene amount of fucking policy to go for such a small amount of population. It's fucking wild that it's even a goddamn issue. Okay,
Yeah.
You want to talk about freedom? Motherfuckers should be able to do whatever the fuck they want to as long as they're not harming anybody else. That's what fucking freedom is. So
right. So I guess that's what democracy means.
And
too.
the fear of the child, like the kid part of it. And I have so many friends that are parents, and guess what? None of them are scared about this. There's plenty of kids that are non-binary in school, and they eye roll and they're like, everybody's gender neutral, and like but nobody. And then some people grow out of it because just like kids do, they're like, oh, this is interesting. My friends are doing it, blah blah blah. But nobody's getting fucking surgery on children. Like it's just wild. Right. It's just wild. Right. Meanwhile, there's that rad fucking trans pop star out of Australia. You know who I'm talking about, producer Mark? That's fucking rad. New from the jump. Got changed. Living their happiest lives currently. As a multi-fucking megastar. And I can't fucking remember the bitch's name.
I don't know that bitch.
God damn it. She's good, too.
I put my hat on so I can say not my son.
What is it, producer Mark? Maybe Australian.
I will say this too.
Sorry,
I also know like a couple of trans people who would never vote. Like they just would never vote. You know what I mean? It's so
right. It's I just said right. It's a strange thing to come to the forefront of American politics, but not if you want to win and fear is one of your big tactics. You know?
Right. Is that part of it? Like, and that was something that you would see with Bernie Sanders, and that you would see with like a couple of other people say, "Hey, billionaires." And they couldn't do this at the DNC. It was so weird because, like, and I guess that's why they kept on taking fucking Bernie out. And also why, I don't know if y'all heard this when they were like, yeah, we didn't run Joe Biden because he could beat Trump. We run Biden because he could beat Bernie. And I guess it was another thing. He'd say, yes, billionaires. It's a fucking corporation. This is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he had this enemy. And he had, like, it was, like, on task for, like, you know, fucking this messaging, which was like, hey, listen, corporations are fucking greedy and fucking stay by your word.
Yeah, he was being honest. And I mean, that's where the big shift. Yeah.
And he had an enemy instead of going, instead, I think that's another place that the Democrats went wrong was going, you know, he is a fascist and leaning into this whole thing that he's a fascist. Like, who are you telling? You tell us we know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we fucking know. And these other people don't even know what fascism. They don't know what communism is. They don't know what Marxism is. They don't know what socialism is. So, like, whatever this messaging is, and like why we're talking about it, and why I was just like, who? Like, this is an obvious thing.
I'll be honest. I thought that would work. Not fascism, but just we're not Trump. I thought we're not Trump was going to work because he fell so far. And by the way, everyone who thought that was right about how far he fell. They just didn't count on her gap between her and Biden.
Yeah, it's just wild. Because I guess it was people who just silently liked, because they show footage from all of these rallies that were fucking desolate. And then come election day, like I truly felt like we were being gaslit into thinking that it was closer than it was to get more money. Huh?
That's all you heard was 50-50.
50-50, so close. So close.
Dude, oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God. What a fucking joke. Those motherfuckers wasted so much time and so much energy. And I don't know how they get to that point, but that little system is broken. It is broken, and there's no fixing it. If you're that far, if you're that off, Are you kidding me?
I disagree. I think it works exactly the way they want it to. And again, I'm going to start sounding like some kind of tinfoil hat guy if I keep going down this path, but it can't happen this many times in a row and then me say it's broken. Right. It happens this many times in a row and I go, you guys clearly have a different goal than you're making me think you have. And on that note, here is something that I do want to say to everyone listening. This is the only thing, because look, it's fun to conjecture about what happened. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know anything. Here's what I do know. If you're scared, whether because you're trans or just in general because of fascism and Project 2025 and all that, as you look for comfort, the people we were just talking about, the talking heads, will try to give it to you. They're going to be like, this is what happened and this is what we need to do. And they don't know shit. No. And almost no one does. And I know that you still need comfort, but don't look to comedians. Don't look to look to your neighbor. If you like your neighbor, look to your family, look inward. I realize that doesn't necessarily help you in the short term, but I promise you, in my opinion, in the long term, if you choose to find and seek comfort in the people who care about you, who you already have in your life, rather than a talking head who's going to tell you why it's going to be okay, that will, in the long run, that will genuinely help you more. Yeah, that will keep you safe and make you feel safe.
Yeah, man, being active, reading about it. Also, reading about movement, reading about how these things happen. Like, fucking, dude, it's awesome. If you want to join the PSL, or just different parties that you can join that are great and will hand you literature, help you out, find your mutual aid groups. Like, being proactive about it is definitely the way to do it if you're dooming right now, because there's people who have been doing this for a long, long time and they've been waiting for you. And radical action is going to have to happen. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of finger wagging and stuff when that stuff comes down. That's going to be a whole other wild. But but yeah, you're 100% right. And especially with the pundits and the stuff and he's and even us, dude, we could just sit here and talk about it, but I don't know, man. Of course, we're doing the right thing, but I think when people watch the news and stuff like that, and they get all this false hope or false hatred or these false ideas, that really plays into your dooming yourself, dooming your cause, believing that something is one way when it's really fucking a lot more nuanced than just goddamn what the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not only that, but also I think it's to discourage. It is to discourage, to doom and discourage, so that you do what they want you to do, and that's the whole thing. That's the way of being rebellious, is to help any way you can.
Yes.
It's the only thing they literally can't take from us is us helping each other. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why so many local governments went way more blue than they were expecting. Because that's the other thing too. That's the, you take care of what's in front of you. You take care of your own small community in front of you. If you don't feel like you have change or you're capable of making big change because we're in a rigged system, then that's the only way it really makes a difference. Is my mayor gonna fuck me over for their term? Is my, you know what I'm saying? Right. Is my school council or my school board representative gonna make this shittier for my kids?
What's weird is the places that went blue, but then voted for slavery. That was weird. What is that?
It was very confusing. It was very confusing. Yeah. What the fuck?
People hate prisoners, man. It goes,
they do.
Prisoners, trans people, and then white men.
He says as he puts on his red, white, and blue cowboy hat for the people listening.
I've talked about this on here before, but years ago, I had Trey Share thing I wrote about people baking in their jail cells and how it affected me. And people weren't just whatever. They were fuck you. Let them burn. And these were well-read fans. So It's been kind of eye-opening to me. Well, it was then. I guess now I'm jaded and know about it.
Mhm.
Well, they are kind of cops, aren't they? Most of them, like
Who?
well, red fans.
Oh, I have no idea. I thought
Call
you
the
meant
comedy police on you. Call the comedy police on you.
I thought you meant
I know one
Californians.
bitch in fucking Naples is. I know that. I know some dumb bitch who I hope went through another goddamn hurricane. Yeah, I said it.
That's so
Goddamn
far.
right.
Is California full of cops? I mean, why'd they?
I
vote
mean,
for
we do.
slavery?
Yeah, they get $6 billion a year in
Yeah, they're full of
defense
cops.
and funding. $6 billion the LAPD gets a year.
No, the B.
Yeah, I'm lying. 5.6.
Man, why couldn't they come off like just a mill or two for me and you when I was living out there?
Yeah, truly. You're getting these tanks for free, dude. What do you need all this money for? It's not going to the police officers, I'll tell you that.
They use them to beat up protesters.
Yeah, I
College
know.
kids on campus drive a tank over them.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying. They got the tanks for free, though. They get them from the Department of Defense. They get all their
Yeah,
old
dude.
shit. That's why they have that shit.
Me and Carmen got tear gassed together.
We did.
That was all that fascism under Trump that happened under Biden.
No, that was under Trump.
That was under Trump?
Yeah.
Damn, that was that long ago?
Mm-hmm.
All that shit broke my brain, dude. Is
Yeah.
that pre-pandemic?
That was during the pandemic. Remember, that was like the theory was that everybody was
Oh,
locked
yeah.
inside, so that was the only reason why they cared is because they were home and not at work or working on their lives or whatever the case is.
Oh my God. I hate that.
The projection of
Mhm.
your particular stance is not holy enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
It makes me sick to my stomach, dude.
It makes me want to die.
I'm sorry, I can't. It's just you're saying some of the saddest shit. So would you if you would leave, where would you go? If you were to leave this country, where would you go? Where do you think?
Mars?
No, we don't have Mars money. You don't. None of us like Elon Musk. We're not going to get to Mars.
Oh, like you gave me the money to do it and I had a passport anywhere. I mean, I think Scotland.
Yeah. I got a friend.
Yeah.
I got my friend. My cousin and his wife are going to go to Ireland.
So it's like
God,
English. I think they'll end up back in the EU soon, which would hit. English speaking, I mean, I wouldn't have to learn anything. The culture, it's close enough. You know, I think I'd fit right in with the beard. I think I could still do comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Scottish politics for Europe, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Scottish leftists hit pretty hard for me from what I know about them. They got a lot of leftist farmers. I like that. And that's it. That's all I've come up with. I hadn't thought about this.
Okay.
But I think Scotland. But I mean, if you're going somewhere and you know you got a +1, like I'm up to suggestions.
Well, it'd have to be +3 and a doggy. You can't just flee by yourself.
I'll smuggle them, dude.
What about you, DJ?
I don't know, man. I was, South America would be if I left, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you, kind of pumped about all this.
Yeah.
In my own way. Yeah, I want to stay here, commit crimes against the state.
Honestly, that's been my takeaway of this is if you get Trump for 4 more years, then you get 4 years of me committing a lot more crime.
Yeah, dude,
I've already been committing crime.
Same.
So I guess I gotta do more.
Yeah. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
Some real rad revolutionary shit. Like I hope I get to do some shit like that. Some like real.
Don't let your dreams be dreams, dude.
Dude, if I'm like headed for the gulag anyway, like I figure like if that's the thing, if they are gonna deport everybody, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
anybody that's tan.
Because like I know I'm like, the enemy from within. I said that like I would be disappointed if I didn't get on that list. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dude. Yes. When we were doing our tests when we were pregnant, when me and Andy found out we didn't have HPV, I was so sad. I was like borderline ashamed. I was like, I am so cool. I've had so much unprotected sex. This is bullshit. I'm still mad about it. There's still time.
There is still time.
That's my goal. That's what I'm doing under Trump. Crime and HPV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. That's the way to do it, is to like be a fucking real hoodlum, man. It's like you get to be like a real righteous ass hoodlum, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like,
here's the problem with that for me. I don't want to project on anyone else, because you think about it. You go like, all right, who's your save the day hero that you would look up to, and you know, what are you talking about here? And you go, all right, somebody like John Brown. That's his name, right? The guy who was so against slavery, he just kept blowing shit up.
Yeah.
You look back on that and you're like, yeah, that's black and white. Obvious. Let's go do that. What's our version of that? Okay, they're rounding up people. They're deporting people. Hell yeah. Let's go blow up the facility that's facilitating that, whatever. And then I go, yeah, there's just like 7 dudes who work there who are just idiots. Like 4 of them are racist, but like 3 of them, dude, they're just idiots.
Mm.
You're just going to kill some idiot who has 2 kids. And I'm not saying that if you do that, you know what I mean? Does this make sense? Like, also, let me be honest, because I just I'm not doing any of that. Yeah. I'm gonna be like, I'm not doing any of that. Like,
yeah, of course.
Talk about, but I'm not blowing nothing up.
Right. I've had a lot of fun fantasies in the last 24 hours.
I'm not having fun. Even if that's my problem. Even in my fantasy, I'm like, nah, you kill somebody half innocent. That sucks.
Well, I wasn't actually talking about blowing shit up. You know? That's not what I'm saying.
I thought we were being cool.
That's not what I was.
You did say revolutionary. I was like, that is pretty revolutionary.
Doing revolutionary shit. There's like that. There's a lot that goes into that. I think you
well, what does that mean? Let's define our terms.
Like, yeah, I'm not trying to be John Brown. Like, I'm not. No, that's for somebody else.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I can't live up to that, dude. But I really want to do crime with you guys, so I'm kind of relieved. So what are you talking about? Just like stealing stuff from Exxon or what? What are you doing?
No, man, I wouldn't necessarily. No, I would say like there's forms of protest and things like this, and like organizations that you can get into, fucking sit-ins, things like that. I mean, you know what I mean? Like things revolutionary in that way.
Which things that aren't actually crimes, but they will be made crimes soon, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Which will be considered crimes against the state. I mean, dude, listen. It's very possible at some point in time you could have somebody come knock on your door about a fucking Facebook post you liked back in 2012. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, how deep is the fucking surveillance state? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
no, not anymore, because Trump's in office. So now you can say whatever joke you want, guys.
Oh,
that's right. Remember, that's why he got voted in, is so we can joke again. We're not allowed. We weren't allowed to joke this whole time.
Okay. I want to say 2 things. First one about that. I'm digging your sarcasm. I am. But there's a big part of me that thinks we're going to hit this sweet spot now where you can talk about how stupid people in power are.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say whatever you want while you do it. I do think there's a chance. There's like this little window where comedy might be back. And not that it ever went anywhere. It's just that's a thing people keep saying. Oh, comedy window. I do think that those idiots who are like, you can say whatever you want. It's like, you guys might have talked yourself into something here. You might have backed yourself into the corner.
Mm.
Like, you think that means you're allowed to pick on the gays and the trans again. We're going to call you fat pussies to your fucking faces. We're going to talk about how we're fucking your wives. We're going to talk about, like, if it's on the table, it's on. I don't know if I'm making sense, but.
No, I get it. Yeah. But I also think that needs to be happening. I don't know what happened when as far as, like, there's way more. I'm about to make some big ass assumption. Maybe I won't say that. But I do think that with people who, lefties who really want rights, there was a shift in. And I don't know if it was moral or what it was. There was a shift in tone where it became a lefty thing to be self-righteous and to like be to be a hall monitor, and that was always there. I mean, that was the big shift in right to left, that change that's been confusing to everybody that is a centrist and not a piece of shit, that are physically conservative, blah blah blah, all of those things, who are like, no, I think people should have rights, but I also am pro death penalty, or whatever the fucking thing is. People who are in the middle about a lot of this shit, that's kind of where I think you lost a lot of people, is like, oh, whatever happened to our teeth? The closest we got was fucking Tim Walz. That was the closest we got, was a fucking coach being like, at least I know how to shut a fucking door. Oh my God. Yeah. The elation just from having somebody be like, finally, somebody said something with any kind of stones. When did we become weak? Bro.
That's what I'm saying. Think about me back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I'm tired of them being able of having the real estate of owning a dark comedy and of owning things that are fucked up to say, fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sorry.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
The issue is we talked ourselves out of all the good words. Like even fat pussy, you know. I've been calling Jenny Vance a fat pussy for like 2 months. to him sometimes in the DMs, because I have these old DMs with him, Trey, and Corey from back in the day. And
oh shit!
Like every 7 days, I'll just be like, "Hey, what's up, fat pussy?" Anyway, they're gonna knock on my door. They're knocking on my door. They're definitely not knocking on my door. I hope. I mean, like you said, I'll be disappointed if they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think all you can really do is with however much, because obviously the problem is the other two branches are pretty fucking red. So this Project 2024, I mean, just take care of the people who are the fucking biggest threat of being oppressed by this bill, by this plan of action, quote unquote plan that these.
I do think, I'm not condoning this, feds. I do think somebody's got to kill somebody, though. I do think, like, if Project 2025 goes into play, and Trump don't mess with a lot of that. Like, and I'm not saying that because I like Trump or even to defend Trump. Just factually, there's aspects of the way Trump is and Project 2025 that don't jive.
Yes.
But if it does actually start to go into effect, like, it ain't gonna be me. I'm not trying to act like a hero, but somebody has to be John Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like Project 2025 started in 2021. We should have goddamn really done something about when Roe was overturned, and like that was it's instead we folded like a goddamn cheap suit. Like,
well,
fucking.
In my opinion, sometimes there is a time in life where it's too early for murder, but it's never too late. It's never too late for murder.
I mean, you
really good.
You talking to the wrong person, because I do, like, I'm the one that's pro riot. I'm pro all of that shit. So I'm the wrong person to be. You're gonna get me on a fucking Fed list because I'm pro all of that. And
you're already on a Fed list, dude. They tapped my phone. I was taking pictures of us the whole time. I got a picture of that cop car burning. I got a video of it.
I did, but my phone got stolen, remember?
Did it get stolen? I'm just kidding.
And then I got your phone stolen, remember? Both of our phones got stolen at that fucking protest. Or whatever, confiscated.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was my fault too. I walked through to find Drew, and then I was like, oh fuck, I don't have my phone. And then I was like, Drew, let me get your phone. I'm gonna try to call my phone and see if I can find it. Maybe it fell. And then I walked back through and they stole Drew's phone from me too.
That is so crazy. What a good
I forgot.
What a good protest.
I know, right?
I forgot about that. That's so funny. They like watched you.
Yeah, there must have been somebody watching me. There must have been. What were you gonna say, DJ?
I just think it's so funny. Like I guess in my mind, like when I talk about crimes against the state, I mean like feeding stations for homeless people and like, like
Yeah.
that, dude, you bombing people. That's great.
Yeah, sorry. It's just when I think about crimes against the state, I think about legitimate ones, not the bullshit ones they're going to make up in the next 6 months. But I do appreciate. That's what I wanted to say a minute ago. I remember I said there was two things.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a German word for what you guys are doing to me right now, because understanding that DJ meant feed the homeless, I felt this wave of relief and disappointment at the same time. That was so unique. Like, it was such a strange emotional of like, thank God that's what he meant. And then also like, man, I kind of wish he meant the other thing.
Well,
I don't think I've ever felt that, but the only time I've ever felt that, I think, is when I was like young and a hot girl pumped the brakes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I was a virgin and a hot girl was like, I think that's enough. You're like, oh, fuck. Thank God.
Yeah.
That's what DJs just did to me. I was like, thank God we're not doing that. And I wish you were doing that.
Well, we could fantasize about it, but also even if any of us were serious, this wasn't a place we would discuss it anyway. So,
yeah,
no,
afraid somebody would rat on us.
No, it's just also on YouTube, and they fucking monitor that shit. That's all.
Man, sometimes I look on the channel and I'm like, and I see those like 500 watches and only 11 likes. That must mean the feds.
Dude, I do love the idea of a Fed being forced to listen to our podcast. I do love that.
That's so funny. That's so funny, dude. There's no Feds listening though.
I know. Okay, what were you gonna say, Drew? Sorry.
Oh, I've been talking about negative narcissism for the past few months. I looked it up, and that was already a thing because, of course, it was. And the DJ just reminded me of it. It's like, yep, they're out to get me. It's like, no, they're not. No one's out to get me. No one's like. It's like when you think someone hates you, and it's like, no, they don't think about you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Feds. We're not even on lists, guys.
I know.
We would be if like they knew what we were saying, but they just don't know what we're saying.
There's just too many people at this point. Yeah.
We don't even have HPV, dude.
I don't. I have a bit about it.
You have a bit about not having HPV?
Yeah, I have a bit about how I'm like one of 7 women that don't have HPV.
Do you talk about being bummed?
Well, I talk about being jealous because I found out I was hanging out with a group of friends and I found out everybody had it except me. And I was like, did you guys have a fuck party and not invite me? You jealous, you fucking pieces of shit. But I talk about it's like having big dick energy is all it is. It's like clean pussy confidence. It's a silly joke, but you can see it on my Comedy Central set.
ComedyCentral.com on YouTube, owned by Viacom.
Yep.
There's this company. Well, we'll talk about that off in here.
Okay. Do you guys have anything that's gravy? I know we talked about a lot of heavy shit. Give me something positive, anything. Give us some hope for our fans. USA! USA!
It's the return of the white man.
Again, for the people listening, it's Drew putting on his USA cowboy hat.
There's a clip I send DJ in a group text. Probably once a week of this comic. You probably know him, Carmen. Just squalling because Shane Gillis said retard on SNL. I probably talked about this before. And yeah, that's what's gravy, dude. We're back. We're so back, dude.
Thanks.
What's gravy this week for me? Dude, I don't know. I'm going to go to Florida to do comedy in a couple weeks. I guess I'll plug that. And I'm going to go see DJ and some other people. I'm going to do a little road trip. I'm going to try to see Bobby. I may try to see Nancy Pants, but Nancy Pants isn't on the way anymore because of all this bullshit that's gone down.
Yeah.
Like my route's all weird. That's it. I've just been looking forward to that, and I've been trying to be really sweet to Andy, and I don't know if that's gravy, but it's nice to have someone to take care of. Like, obviously, the last few days have been pretty hard on her. I don't know if you guys keep up with the news, but she takes like stuff like that very personally.
Yeah.
Like she looks at people who in her life that voted that way, and she like takes it very personally.
Well, yeah, because they're voting against her. It's also my issue with the fucking women vote. Like, well, here's the other thing too. Is this will be the last dumb joke I say about it, but it's like you can't get mad. The whole men on the internet can't get mad that women chose bears when you won't let these bitches have their own bodies. Like, you can't be like, you don't be mad nobody wants to fuck you when you don't want them to be okay. Like, at the end of the day, you're fucking yourself. You are cock blocking yourself, dude. Is you. But you're the one doing it.
They want them to like fuck them and then do what they say if they get pregnant. I mean, they want them to be proper.
Well, they want to hate them and then fuck them. They want to hate them and still have them like them, and that's just wild. That's wild to me.
It was funny how there was that law, like there was that small outfit in England about the right was like freaking out about women voting. And then even to that, like, getting all those women votes, like, it is kind of fucking, like, maybe that changed their mind. Maybe they saw the error of their ways.
Maybe that's what it is.
Was like, you better not or I'll beat you.
Yeah, maybe that.
Take a video of yourself clicking his name and then hitting submit.
Or maybe that was like 500,000 votes for Jill Stein.
Dude, I went with this lady, and literally what she told me was, she was like, well, I'm past all that. I guess if I was younger, I would, but...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, see, Andy takes that personally, and I understand.
Yeah. So that's what I was talking about like all the states that went to Trump. I was like, these people are only care about themselves in particular.
Yeah. But I was trying to spin it into gravy, which at this point I burnt the roux. But I was just saying it's been like, I don't know. I guess it sounds corny, but I guess it's like a privilege to be able to work from home, make her food. I took her out for Mexican. I thought we were gonna get margaritas, but we just passed liquor by the drink in Scott County. That's gravy, dude. We don't have it yet because they just passed it, so nobody's got their licenses. But
oh my God,
we did it, dude. We beat the Baptists. The Presbyterians beat the Baptists. We were 0-10, and now we're 1-10. And it only takes one victory, baby. They had their little signs. Don't vote no on liquor by the drink, and it had a little fireball bottle with the devil on it. God. And I was like, I gotta say, Andy, if you believe literally in devils and angels, and there's a devil on the bottle, and your dad used to get drunk and beat your mom, I get why you're voting no. I do get why you're voting no. It's right there on the statement.
Well, dude, I'm glad you can have a fucking margarita, dude. That's a win.
Not yet. We gotta wait 3 months for all these licenses to come through.
That's still pretty rad. You should try to get a license.
Hey, I've thought about it.
That's actually a pretty fucking good move business-wise. You should try to get a license, because then, you first of all, it will go up in value immediately, 1. And 2, I mean, you could always fucking sell some booze. You can sell booze like lemonade on the side of the road if you want to.
There is a
start building, a business.
My in-laws own a building right on Town Square. My sister-in-law is genuinely a great bartender. She's always worked in that industry. I'm kind of like, dude, because all these fucking fat idiots from Ohio come here to ride their little side-by-sides back and forth all day.
Yeah.
If we had live music and cheap beer, but on day 4, one of them would run over a kid drunk, and that'd be the end of that.
Yeah, you definitely have to track, and you'd have to have a lot of safety precautions. But either way, good beer sales.
Yeah, we would even have a drink called side by side. That's what they ride, side by sides. We could have a drink side by side. It'd be a beer and your favorite shot, side by side special.
A shot in a beer. Oh, I love it, dude. Where do I invest? This sounds great.
In my butt. You put your credit card right in my butthole.
Onlyfans.com/DrewMooreComedy. What about you, DJ?
What's gravy?
What's gravy?
Well, I'm glad you found Mick. Number one, that was rad.
Yes, the whole community is happy for that.
Yeah, I know, a lot has happened. I wanted to give a shout out to Mick. Do you want to talk about that? I mean,
also, producer Mark has a pitch for when you go to the area where DJ is. Maybe we do a potato gun part 2 for the Patreon.
This time I'm shooting at him.
Yeah, there you go. And maybe we could set his hair on fire and film it this time.
No, man, because my hair wasn't great and it's much worse now. DJ has such good hair. I don't want to risk that. Because there's scar tissue up here. And I know people are like, you're just going bald. I am, but one side way balder than the other. And that's when that damn tater gun did.
Yeah, I don't think the tater gun even works anymore. I think there's a hole in the bottom of it that needs to be caulked up or something. I haven't used it since I got it.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm just saying.
We'll figure something out.
I'm just saying, give the people what they want. And on that note, we should wrap it up. Guys, please, it's a new and improved, producer Mark says, the new and improved potato gun.
Yeah, let me plug. I have Bristol this weekend in our buddy Sean's club, November 8th and 9th, Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia. Come on out and see me. I'll be in St. Augustine, November 23rd, and in Nashville with Well Read, December 12th through the 14th.
Yeah, I will be in San Diego on November 8th at the Mission Bay Resort, and then I will be at the Comedy Mothership, surrounded by people who are very proud of themselves in Austin, Texas, November 29th to December 1st, and then December 4th.
I'm coming to that.
Through this, oh, dude, I wish. I would love the support. And then
they won't even let me in. I don't even know about that. They won't let comics in. Anyway, go ahead.
November 4th through the 8th, I will be in assorted cities in Colorado. Go to CarmenMorales.com for all your Carmen Morales needs. But Aurora, Eagle, a couple of other places in Colorado. So make sure you guys come in and check those out, please. Please support stand-up comedians that aren't racist and don't hate people like me. That's it. You guys got anything else? Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We adore you. We got to go. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. I got it, guys.
You could stick a whole ribeye in one of your back pockets.